She's on. I think she's on mute.
Oh, I see her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Member Carter. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry,
Okay.
present.
Vice Chair Gator. Chair Roberts.
Present.
You have a quorum present.
All right, fantastic. Well, welcome everyone. I would like to ask for a motion to approve the August 11, 2022 meeting minutes.
So moved, Member Gator.
And support?
Support.
Okay, that was supported by English Barnhill. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Okay, fantastic. Next item, please.
Item C, Chair's remarks.
Okay, well, again, welcome everyone. I think we're going to have a great meeting today, and I'm hoping it will be a very collaborative meeting. I just wanted to point out that one of the things that I decided to do, and this was actually a recommendation from our facilitator, Chandra McMillian, is to add our vision statement to our agendas, just as a reminder of our vision for this commission. So I'm just going to read it really quickly. The Wayne County Women's Commission will be a platform to communicate and raise awareness about the critical issues impacting women in Wayne County. And the Wayne County Women's Commission will be a leader in collaborating to make recommendations to advance the well-being of all women in Wayne County. And so moving on to the next item, Madam Clerk.
Item D1 under unfinished business, update on WCWC resolution on discriminating medical practices that lead to high maternal death rates among women of color.
Okay, this is just an update for the commission. This was, if you recall, was a resolution that was drafted and put forth by our COVID recovery response physical health committee. It was something that we voted on and supported unanimously, and made a recommendation for the Wayne County Commission to take action on. And they did support and passed this resolution unanimously at their August meeting. So I just wanted to share that positive update with you. Any comments or thoughts around that? Okay, moving on to the next item, Clerk Spivey.
Item E1 under new business, update from Wayne County Commissioner Melissa Daub.
Okay, so Commissioner Dobb got pulled into a Ways and Means Committee meeting. The county is working on the budget, and so she was ready and willing to provide an update, but unfortunately couldn't be here today. So she did provide something for me to share with you, so I will just read that. So the commission has been holding budget hearings over the past 2 months. They will be voting to approve the budget at a special full board meeting on September 22nd. And all of us are invited to attend that meeting via Zoom. The Auditor General presented findings on the Medical Examiner's Office. Kahil Rahal, Wayne County's Chief Administrative Officer, has left the county to go work for DTE. The Wayne County Health Department is monitoring monkeypox case numbers, and vaccinations are available for people who are in high risk categories. Commissioner Dobb is holding an event on October 6th in Plymouth with the help of a high school intern group that she has organized. And the Wayne County Health Department and Mothering Justice, which is a fabulous organization, will be attending to discuss period poverty and racial disparities in maternal and infant mortality rates. They will be collecting diapers, wipes, and other baby maternity products, as well as pads and tampons to be distributed to people in need in the Plymouth Canton community. She does have a flyer, and I have asked her to email that out to the entire Women's Commission so that if anyone wants to attend or donate any of these types of materials for the cause, that we are able to do so. And that is it in terms of the update that she provided for us. Moving on to the next item.
Madam Chair, I did see Member Ryan English Barnhill's hand up. It was raised. I'm not sure. Okay.
Sure.
Member English Barnhill. It may have, it could have been an accident.
I'm good. I raised it on accident. I apologize, but I do support anything that we're doing with Mothering Justice, and I will try to be there at that event. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization. And actually, Ebony Taylor is my classmate. So we're actually headed to Connecticut right now.
Great. Okay, anyone else? Okay, Clerk Spivey, moving on to the next item.
Item E2, update from committees, Bylaws Committee.
Okay, so real quickly, we had reconvened and reorganized the Bylaws Committee to work on a number of items. And so I would like to turn this over to the Bylaws Committee Chair, Cynthia Douglas, to take us through the work that they did and the recommendations they're providing to us to take action on. Chair Douglas?
Thank you, Chair Roberts. The Bylaws Committee, again, had reconvened, and we looked into a couple of recommendations that were done by the Wayne County Commission attorneys, as well as recommendations that were submitted by Chair Roberts and Mary Starr as well. So this document that you should have received is a culmination of all of those recommendations and changes and things like that. So I don't know how you want to proceed, Chair Roberts. Do you want to go section by section, or how do you want to do that?
I just thought you might kind of bullet point and do an overview of the changes made, and then just ask for a motion to support the recommendations from the committee. And we can, once that's supported, we can open it up for discussion.
Okay, so basically there were a few changes. Section 2, the removal of the word create was replaced by promote. And recommendations were removed as well based on information received from the Wayne County Commission Council to remove that for various reasons pertaining to the Opens Meetings Act. In section 3, Article 3, bullet point D, we made a couple of changes there. Took out public and took out hearings. And so it reads, hold meetings and forums to understand and collect data on the issues and challenges of women. Item E, we remove create and change that to promote. Item G, we remove recommendations, again, based on feedback from Commission Council. On item I, we changed the annual meeting report to reflect a June 30th date as opposed to a January 30th date, because our term begins April 15th. And so we changed the due date for the annual report to June 30th. Again, we also removed recommendations from that section. For item 3.2, authority limitations, we removed, again, make recommendations and add, and that's it for that section. For membership terms, we added April 15th or as the start of terms for members. Moving on to section 4, that was section 4, members. So continuing on to section 4.3, 4.4 actually. So for compensation, we removed the last line to just read pursuant to Chapter 177, members of the Women's Commission, so serve without compensation. So that was that change. Article 5, officers and terms. Change Article 5. Yeah, so we are going to visit that and talk more about this section. There needs to be more discussion around this section. So we have not come to a consensus about it, so we need to have further discussion. And once we make those changes, we will bring them back to the body again. So that section is not complete. So we're moving on to section 4.6. We removed again for voting, all votes must be made. This is in regards to voting for items on the agenda. This has nothing to do with elections. This is only for items on the agenda. All that we need to vote on as a committee. All votes must be made in a meeting and conducted in a manner that allows participants to know how each member voted. And that's, again, on action items as it pertains to agenda items. This has nothing to do with elections. And members may vote by voice vote or roll call. Moving forward, proxy voting, members must be present to vote. Proxy voting shall not be allowed. 6.6, this has to do with Open Meetings Act. So that was removed because by the recommendations of Commission Council again, we are not part of the Open Meetings Act. So in order for us to continue to meet virtually, we had to remove this section, okay, to be in compliant. Then on moving further down that line, regarding agenda items, so we took out the 2 hours, and so we were saying notices need to be in terms of posting. So the last section of that, an agenda for an electronic remote meeting shall be posted on the Wayne County's website in a location immediately accessible to the public. Notices of an electronic meeting shall include, and it lists the meeting items. So, and we took out why the commission is meeting, so that was removed. That was section A of that part. Section B became section A, how members of the public can participate in the meeting, including any phone numbers or internet addresses needed to do so. We took out C, section bullet point C, that was removed. And so bullet point D became bullet point C regarding how many persons with disabilities can participate in the meeting. Section 6.8 was removed, and that was related to access to records. And that was based on recommendations, again, by Commission Council as it relates to the Open Meetings Act. Section 7, committee in general. The Women's Commission may create committees for the purpose of making recommendations and providing information to the Women's Commission. It doesn't pertain to making recommendations to the Wayne County Commission as a whole. That was removed in the previous sections based on recommendations by the Commission Council. That's 7.1. And then moving on, that is all the changes that we have made. The officers section and the election of officers and temporary presiding officers, we will continue to discuss in the Bylaws Committee. Again, we had not really come to a consensus on that section. So once we do, we will bring that before the body for approval or further discussion. And that concludes my report. Do we have any questions?
Just real quickly before we open it up for questions, I just want to make a couple of comments. One is the attorneys for the county had provided some recommendations to us in terms of changes that needed to be made to the bylaws. And in part, those were related to the ordinance, the document that really created this commission. And the ordinance was created by and is essentially governed by the Wayne County Commission. So we needed to make sure that a few changes in the ordinance that were made that were related to the Open Meetings Act which were made to allow us to continue to meet virtually, and the change of the annual report date, which we've discussed numerous times. We needed to make sure that that was reflected in our bylaws document. They had a couple other recommendations that they made. And I just want to assure the Women's Commission that, the Bylaws Committee met. They went through the document, they went through the recommendations. Chair Douglas, had talked with and met with Felicia and Mary Parisian. Member Starr and I, spent some time on it as well and provided some feedback and asked questions. So there was a lot of thoughtful work that went into this. And so some of it may not make sense, but everyone was provided a copy of the bylaws as soon as we could get them to you. I think that was 2 days ago. And with that, why don't we open it up for some questions or some comments, and then we can move forward. If works by you. Unless
Member Lanto.
Thank you. I was just curious if maybe Chair Douglas, you could help me understand why making recommendations was removed.
Oh,
I can.
Are you on mute? Member Douglas, you might be on mute. Or Chair Douglas. I should say Chair Douglas.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was just talking. So it was based on recommendations after having discussions with Commission Counsel. And Mary Parisian is on, and she can probably better explain the legal aspect of it.
That would be great. Mary.
Hi, good afternoon. Yes, so through the chair to this honorable body, the word recommendation was removed just to avoid any potential legal concerns that may arise with regard to the Open Meetings Act, which could make us potentially be considered a public body, and then we would be forced to meet in person as opposed to being able to meet virtually.
Thank you. Can I ask a follow-up to that? So just so I understand it, it doesn't preclude us from suggesting to the full commission, what we might want to see happen. Is that correct? It's really just a legal, okay.
Right,
Thank
because
you. I appreciate it.
we've done resolutions like we just did, and we have provided information to the commission based on information that we receive for them to take action. We just can't use that word. So no, it doesn't preclude us from giving information to the commission. Right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. I saw Dr. Randall.
Yeah.
I thought that was the purpose of this organization, to make recommendations to the commission. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you. But I thought that was our total purpose. Thank you so much.
I'd like to comment on that, Dr. Randall. I absolutely agree with you. And it was a question that was brought up in the Bylaws Committee. It was a question that I brought up. It was a question that Member Starr brought up. And although I don't maybe still fully understand it, part of, I think, what is a little challenging for us as the Women's Commission is we are now not subject to the Open Meetings Act, which I have mixed feelings about, because we should be open and transparent, and we are, and our meetings are posted online and anybody can watch them. But they did that in order to allow us to continue to meet virtually, right? Which I think accommodates all of us. I mean, imagine if we had to meet in person during the day, it would make it so much more difficult for many of us to continue, meeting and serving on this commission. So I trust them as the lawyers who also fully support the Women's Commission, that there is something about that word legally and Open Meetings Act, but it does not mean that we can't. And we will continue to make suggestions and use whatever word we want to use. But in our bylaws, from a legal standpoint, we just can't use the word recommendation. I don't fully understand it myself, but I trust them. Is that,
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for that explanation. Thank you.
yeah, is that fair, Mary?
Yeah, that's pretty much on par. The only thing that I would add is that the word recommendation, the reason why it presents a legal concern is with respect to how you as a body would function. So for this body to be considered part of the OMA, like you had just suggested earlier, Sarah, it would then make us be forced to meet in person and be in compliance with the OMA. So this is just a benefit to this body by removing that word. And just removing any type of legal concern that might be surrounding the body's function. That doesn't stop the body from being able to advocate, from being able to collect information, hold forums, present the information. All of the duties and functions that you have are still there.
Thank you.
Good. Clerk Spivey, I can't see. Does anyone else have their hand raised? Does anyone else have a comment or a question on this? I see that Member Luckman who's joined us.
There are no hands raised.
Okay, so at this time, what I would ask for, oh, I see you, Member Carter.
Member Carter?
Yes, this is a quick question. Is Attorney Parisian standing in for Attorney Felicia Johnson today?
Good afternoon. Through the chair to this honorable body, Commission Counsel is actually in a meeting at Ways and Means along with Commissioner Dobb. So I suppose you could say that.
And we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And just to let you know that Mary has worked closely with me as well as with Felicia on the bylaws so that we can make sure that we are correct in what we're doing and everything that we're doing is legal and in order. So I've spent a lot of time talking to Mary Parisian as well as Felicia to make sure of that. So yeah, she's probably sitting in for Felicia today, which is great. I'm thankful that she's here.
Thanks. The pleasure's all mine.
Thank you.
Awesome. Just want to acknowledge that Member Winton is with us as well. So what I would ask of this body is for a motion to approve the recommendations from the Bylaws Committee to update the bylaws.
So moved, Member Gator.
And is there
Support, Member Randall.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Or is there any discussion? Okay.
No, Vice Chair Gator, just wanted to say thank you to the Bylaws Committee and everyone else who was involved for doing that very much needed work. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion passes. And as Chair Douglas shared with us, they're going to go back and work on a few things related to elections and to officers. So if you decide that you want to dig deep and read into those bylaws, and if there's anything else that comes up, please reach out to Chair Douglas on that. And I'm not to speak for her, but I'm sure she will be happy to talk with you about any thoughts, ideas, or concerns that you may have. Okay, Clerk Spivey, next item, please.
Item E3, report updates from the COVID-19 Recovery Response Committees, Physical Health Committee.
Okay, I'd like to turn it over to Chair Joyner.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all is well.
Good afternoon.
Well, we've been busy. We are having a walk, good exercise for you. Mind, body, and soul, SOLE, like the sole on your shoes. And it will be on Saturday, September 24th. Do we have a flyer up? Is there a flyer up already that people can see? Did people get the flyer? Oh, okay. It will be at Palmer Park, which is at 7 Mile and Woodward. The parking is next to the police station. And we will walk around Palmer Park. We will have some nourishing drinks like water to keep you hydrated. And it should be a lot of fun. There'll be places where you can stop and rest or talk, or you might just want to walk all the way around. The actual mileage is close to 3.5 miles. And for those of you that are energetic, ready to go, you can go around twice if you like. So it should be a lot of fun. We do have a flyer, and I'll make sure that everyone gets the flyer. But we would really like for you to come and participate. It's from 9 until 11. And if you come at 9 and you're a speed walker and you're not done at 9:30, that's okay too. So we're looking forward to that at the end of September. But we're going to have a great time, and I'm inviting all of you. And please, Palmer Park is a big place, so invite your family, your friends, the paper boy, the Uber driver. Just invite everyone so we can have a great time. The other thing I wanted to mention.
I just want to ask a question real quick. I feel like I saw this flyer. Did we send it out to the entire membership?
I don't know, but there is a flyer.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I sent it to you, Chair Roberts, but I don't know if it was sent out any further.
Okay, Clerk Spivey, at the end of this meeting, when you send out the link, can you also send out the flyer for this event? And also, I'll get a copy for you, the flyer for Commissioner Dobbs' event.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And we would like to encourage, we will be participating with Meals and Wheels. And most people are aware of what Meals and Wheels, what they do. There are so many homebound seniors that are homebound for various reasons. And there is food available, but they can't come and get it. And so volunteers are needed to deliver food. And there is a website. I think you can just go to Meals on Wheels, but there is a website, waynecounty.com/SVS, and you can register. But Cynthia Douglas, one of our wonderful members on our committee, has agreed to kind of coordinate this. And so we would like for all of the women on the Women's Commission, or maybe you can find someone, a sister, a brother, or nephew to take your place. But we would really like as many volunteers that we can get to assist in providing meals for our seniors. The other thing that I wanted to mention about that is that it's a flexible, maybe you only have an hour. Maybe you only have 2 hours. So there is some flexibility. The food is usually distributed on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. And some of the time is flexible. So please give it a thought. And I'm going to ask for Cynthia Douglas, Member Douglas, to fill in whatever I left out. Thank you.
So thank you for that, Chair Joyner, appreciate it. And thank you, Chair Roberts, for allowing us to speak on this. But so just for clarification, we probably won't be delivering meals. We will be at the distribution site packaging meals. So we will all be together working as a team to get the meals to be delivered. And so we just want people to volunteer. This would be a great group activity for us as a Women's Commission to be of service to our community, since that's what we propose to be. And, they need help. They're short, just like the workforce, employees, we don't have a lot of employees available. People are still looking for people to work with. Meals on Wheels is doing this work to help the community. And we have, especially during COVID, we've had so many seniors that have gone without food and who continue to go without food, and they can't get out, especially those that are homebound and who don't have transportation. So this is an opportunity for us to be of service to our community and to help and package meals. So there is a location that we have in mind that is very short on volunteers. And so when you go to the website that was mentioned by Member Joyner, fill out the volunteer form and we'll send that link as well. And once that's done, I'm going to be coordinating with the senior department to coordinate us to be able to go to that location to package meals. So thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and Member Douglas and I had talked about putting together like a follow-up email. So if you're still willing to help me with the language on that, and maybe we could pick 3 dates and times and survey the membership and just see if we can get, you know, majority of members there at a particular date and time, and that wouldn't preclude people from volunteering anytime, right? Because they can sign up, but maybe we can try to organize a date and time where the majority of us could go. Just an idea. Okay, anything else from your report out? Nope, okay. Moving on to the next item, Clerk Spivey.
Item 4A under new committees, survey committee to figure out how to survey county departments on programs and services that help and support women, including programs open to men and women.
Okay, so Clerk Spivey, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this section as a whole, but I'm going to break it down piece by piece.
Okay.
So, but thank you. So wanted to have a discussion around new committees. This really came out of our strategic planning retreat and the beginnings of a conversation that we had at our last meeting. I have reached out to all of the chairs of the COVID-19 recovery response committees, and all committee chairs are in agreement that we are going to not continue to meet in the capacity of the COVID-19 recovery response committees, and instead focus on a committee where we had discussed at our last meeting to survey the county about programs and services that support women. And then once that survey is complete, talking about how we use that information to help and support women in Wayne County. And then also a communications committee, which is really about how to communicate the work and recommendations or suggestions of the Women's Commission to the Wayne County Commission and the public, but also how we like communicate with each other, right? So if we are not on a committee and we have a recommendation, or we want to communicate having a speaker or whatever that may be. But we really, I think, need to figure out how we're going to communicate primarily with the public, right? Are we going to develop a Facebook page, right? Do we want to start looking at certain issues and writing op-eds to send out to the public on particular issues or actions that we're taking? Do we want to work to create, an email list where we could send out a regular update on some things that we're doing? But it would really be up to the committee to discuss these things and put together kind of a plan of action and some to-do lists and to work on them. And then the third one, this is really, I envision this just being a committee for maybe like a month, maybe 2. But it's this idea of creating a calendar for us as the Women's Commission to highlight, I don't know the appropriate term, I'm going to say special days. Like 2 weeks ago, it was Women's Equality Day. And we, didn't have a voice on that in any capacity because it slipped by us, right? Because it just wasn't on our radar screen. Or Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. And so having this committee meet and work on putting a calendar together so that we can start looking at some of these days, and maybe we do want to do a resolution, maybe there's an event that we want to do around it, maybe an op-ed or a Facebook post, and working in collaboration with the communications committee on that. So I have reached out to and talked with most members of the Women's Commission. Not everyone yet, but that's in progress. And some members have indicated, which committees they would like to serve on. But before I made recommendations for appointments, I really wanted to bring this forward and have discussion with everyone on it. so that we could get a agreement on these. And if members want to volunteer, that you have the opportunity to do that as well, because I think it's important that we are connected to the things that that we're really interested in, and that's different for every person. So with that, before taking any type of formal action, I would like to open it up for questions and or comments. And I do see Member Cash, but I don't know if she was the first one.
Yes, Member Cash.
Okay, so just a point of clarification.
Yes.
The committees that have been formed previously, are those committees going to be eliminated? And then we have to, or are these three that's here? Excuse me, I'm just trying to work, but I won't answer that call, but I can't stop it from ringing because I'm at work. So I apologize. So are the committees that we have in place now, they're going to shift to maybe one of three of a survey committee, communication committee, or calendar committee? Am I picking that up right or no?
We are going to eliminate the COVID-19 recovery response committees and then form a surveys committee, a communications committee, and a calendar committee. And part of the thought around this too is allowing us to have more flexibility and be able to kind of react to the things that we want to work on. So once the survey committee has done the work, they don't have to continue meeting forever, right? Like they have a purpose and a charge, and they're going to work on that. And then perhaps after that, it's about putting together a resource fair or some sort of, actions around connecting women to the programs and services that are in place at the county level to support them.
Okay, I thought that that's what we were doing, but I just wanted a point of clarification on that. Okay. So after our event that the health committee, excuse me, a message just popped up. That's it for us.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Now, as I said, I've talked with all of the committee chairs about this, and I got agreement and support, to move forward in this way. But that's also why I'm bringing it before the full Women's Commission before taking any action.
Okay, because we have was working on some other things, but if you've talked to the chair of our committee about it and she's in agreement, then I will support her in that decision. That's all I have to say.
Okay, no, thank you so much for sharing that. And one doesn't have to be on a committee to bring an idea forward. Right. So if there are other things that you were working on that you still think are important and you want to bring forward to the commission, and there's the capacity to do it, then individuals should do that, and we should work to make it happen.
Vice Chair Gator.
Thank you. Through the chair and through this body, I would be happy to serve on the communications committee, but at this time, due to my workload, unfortunately, I cannot serve as chair. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Anyone, any other questions or comments? Okay, so I think what the next step will be is reaching out to members and finding out, which committees they would like to serve on. And then we will take action in terms of creating them and getting support and approval from the women's commissions on the appointment of those members, if that sounds good. Okay, moving on to the next item, Madam Clerk.
Item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the commission.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to acknowledge and wish a very happy birthday to Member Douglas. It's her birthday today, and certainly appreciate you taking the time for the Women's Commission today on your birthday.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. And
Birthday.
it's an honor to have another year. So thank you so much. And just a point, my sister and I share the same birthday.
Oh,
And
wow.
we're 8 years apart. So
That's
it's double blessing. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Member Starr. Oh, I'm sorry, Clerk Spivey, I'll let you call on members.
Member Starr.
Thank you. With Member Summer, we've been thinking about having an informal gathering time that in which we might actually also talk about some of the strategic planning that came out of the retreat. And so we were looking at November 13th, which is a Sunday. I know that that's a challenge. Anything's going to be a challenge for somebody. It's hard to find us time for us. But we were looking at it as like a twofold event. One part would be at around 12:30 in the afternoon, which would be a chair yoga class for all of us to attend and enjoy together. And then following with lunch. And all of this would be happening in my region, which would be Canton and Plymouth. And we're working on pulling it all together, but we wanted to get just an informal idea of your availability on November 13th.
That sounds great. So as you put that together, please, you and Member Crawford, please feel free to send out like an email to the entire membership. And if you need folks to commit or register, you know, however you want to do that, but I think that sounds great.
Awesome, thanks. And Member Tally has her hand up, I think, or it's up. I don't know if it came up with this.
Member Tally.
Yeah, I do have a question. You mentioned earlier that the commission, the Wayne County Commission, is doing budgets. Are we included in them budget discussions as a commission?
Can we hold on one second, Member Tally? I just want to make sure. Member Starr, are you finished with what you were sharing with us?
Yeah, if I know that everybody can see the chat, so if November 13th does or doesn't work for you, would you mind putting a note in the chat? Because we would like to find a time that's going to work before we make all the planning happen, and then find out only 2 or 3 people can come on the 13th of November. Thanks, I'm all set.
Is there like a time frame for that?
Be around noon till 3. So with starting with yoga and then following with lunch.
Okay, awesome. So now we will come back to Member Tally. I don't have the answer to that question. That was part of, you know, I was hoping that Member Dobb, Commissioner Dobb, who's been very much involved in the budget discussions. I do know that in the last budget that there was some money allocated for a couple of the commissions that the Wayne County Commission had created. But are there specific conversations related to the Women's Commission? I do not have the answer to that.
Okay.
I don't believe there are.
I mean, because are they in discussions right now? Or are they what process are they in the budget right now? I mean, it would just be good to know, because even just following up from the strategic meeting we had, and we talked about this with Chair Bell, it would just be nice to know what we're looking at. I mean, that helps in planning too. So just my thoughts.
Yeah, the only update that I had is they've been holding budget hearings over the past 2 months. So if you don't want to follow up, and we, you know, if there's any particular ask that we want to make, you know, just, you know, let me know and we can talk about it.
On that, if I may, sorry.
I know, but Member Douglas, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Member Lansell had her hand up, but I just wanted to address Member Tally's. The meetings are public, and you can listen into them. As a matter of fact, you can listen online as well. So they're posted so you can hear what they have to say, but we usually start budget hearings in August and they run through September. And so now they're getting ready to approve the budget shortly.
Oh, they are. Well,
So-
okay, I get that. I mean, but I guess as a group, as a commission together, yeah, I can pop on there anytime individually, but I guess I would think that our chair or somebody would have that voice in there to have those discussions, a part of that budget process, so that we can, or I don't know if it's chair, but I don't know what the process is. But it would be nice, I mean, even when I talk about city council, we have a budget, so we know how to plan for the year going out. I don't know, we're still kind of formulating some things, but it would be nice to know what that number is, to see kind of what we're working with, so that we can start having those planning discussions. I mean, that's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
and I get we can get on there, but I'm thinking as a group, as a commission, how do we be a part of those discussions? I don't know.
Mhm.
Member Lanto?
Thank you. I would be switching topics. I don't want to stop this if anybody else was commenting.
Okay, let's just quick pause and we'll come back. Is there anyone else that wants to comment or has a question around Member Talley's question and comments around the budget? I mean, because I want to say, I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. And I think it's in part like where we need to get to as a commission, where we're more proactively, thinking about this kind of thing. And that I think also goes to, our structure and organization and having that strategic plan so that we're looking ahead at the types of things that we want to do and what we might need, budgetary support for. And so I think since we're not quite there yet, that, I guess I'm maybe not in a place to ask for certain things, but I'm certainly willing to follow up with Chair Bell and ask the question that you are asking, or facilitate, a call between the 3 of us if that's what you would like to do. But I think that they have set aside some money, and so if we decide that there are certain things that we want to do that cost money, we need to put it in a request to Chair Bell.
Okay. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe this year we're just, forming out, getting the survey committee together, see what's out there. So and that's just me. I'm just trying to see what is our year looking ahead for this next year. Are we just going to be just kind of surveying the county, and then even the things with the communities that we're talking about? I mean, is there, maybe it's no funding needed. Maybe we need a budget committee. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody talking about the finance piece of this. I don't know. This just things in my head when I'm talking about us moving forward. We had a good, first year. We're into our second year now, and we're still trying to get the foundation together. But to have those discussions so we can know what we're trying to do. That's just me. Maybe it's just me, but
I think it's 100% valid, and I'm really happy that you're raising it, and I think it's something that we should be talking about. Yeah, Clerk Spivey, I see Member Douglas's hand raised, and I didn't know if she wanted to comment on this.
Well, I don't know if it would be, so like Member Roberts said, there were some funds for various committees or commissions that are under the umbrella of Wayne County. And we did use some of those funds for the strategic planning meeting. But I don't know to what extent we could be that involved in the budget, since the budget has to do with the various departments. And I think that's where, when we provide data and research and things like that, maybe we can influence programs that are under those various departments to benefit the welfare of the women in Wayne County. So on that topic, I think that we could be beneficial in terms of our research and what we find out to benefit and to empower, that is stated in our bylaws and also in our purpose and in our vision, to support and empower women in Wayne County. Now, what that looked like will probably have to come through the departments, the various departments.
Okay.
how much involvement we can have on that, well, we have to build those relationships with the departments, you know, so that's in terms of programming or something like that, I think.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's something that we, like, remember Chair Roberts said, something that we need to do more research on.
Okay.
You know, in terms of that. So that's basically what I got for you.
And I get it, you know,
I
am raising the question because if it's no money, it's no money. If we're not at that point, we're not at that point. But if we do have some money, what we working with? You know what I'm saying? So what are we working with?
But it wouldn't be for us. It's all it's not designated just for us in terms of the funds that are available for the different commissions under Wayne County. So there's a couple of commissions that are there. And so it's all in one pot. And again, that has to be approved by Chair Bell. The expenditures in terms of what we want to do with it. And it's basically to promote, you know, some programs or things like that, informational things. That's what that's for. And it's identified by her. It's identified by the chair.
Right, because we did some things last year. So that's what I'm saying. We didn't know. I don't know how it got funded. We know it got funded. You know what I'm saying? So
it's through her and it's through the commission and it has to be approved by the Chair Bell. Okay. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Member Douglas. Clerk Spivey, I see Member Hughes's hand up. Would you like to ask her if she wants to speak on this or something else?
Member Hughes?
Yeah, I just had well, I didn't have a question. I think it was pretty much answered by Member Douglas as to how we are all funded. So just to make sure I'm clear, it's pretty much an ask-need basis. Like if we need something, we ask Member Bell and she approves or obviously disapproves, whichever the case may be. That's what we're on right now. So that's why we don't really have a budget per se. And we're, you know, and down the road, we may develop a budget at some time after. No, we may not. Okay, so we may. We kind of have data to give them. You know, then maybe they'll develop something after we give them, you know, information about what the things that we put on, you know, in the past year to see what it is that maybe we need on a regular basis. But for right now, it's just like an ask, and they'll, you know, approve or disapprove kind of basis right now.
Correct.
Okay,
And we don't have a designated budget. We as a Women's Commission does not have a designated budget.
Right. Yep.
Okay,
thank you.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. Our process moving forward is on an as-needed basis. So if we do something, we ask for it, yay, nay. That's our process when we go forth in the commission. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
And it has to be approved. It has to come through Chair Roberts through to Chair Bell. For approval. Right. Because we as a commission do not have a budget. Allocated to this commission. It is a pot of money. It's all in one thing, but we can't. So everything has to come through Chair Roberts to Chair Bell for approval for any expenditures of any kind. But there's no monies. We don't have a budget.
Okay. I think we're clear. Mary, did you want to comment on this?
Yes. Through the chair to Councilwoman Talley, I just wanted to also, and the rest of the body as well, just to clarify, the policy is one that is embedded in our bylaws. It wasn't something that was just created on the spot. It is something that is standard from day one. The bylaws require that any type of financial suggestion or any type of financial request would have to go through this body to the chair. So the body would first have to ask for it in writing and submit it to Chair Bell.
Okay, thanks, Mary.
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, I think we can move on. So Clerk Spivey, if you want to call on Member Lanto.
Member Lanto.
Thank you. I just wanted to share that I am less than a week and a half from my scheduled C-section. So I will probably not be at meetings until at least December or January as we get our feet underneath us, but I am still committed to this commission and I will miss seeing all of your faces every month.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You have a good and healthy experience and delivering your beautiful babies into this world.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, next person.
Member Dr. Regina Randall.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to say, Ms. Lantos, we are really praying for you. And just know that we want you to be healthy. And I just want to say that Member Lantos has done more work than some of us who get on the meeting and just talk every day. She's actually participated. She's done the work. So Ms. Lantos, we thank you, and we just are praying for you, and just let us know how you're doing, please.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. Any other member?
No more.
Okay. Member English Barnhill is on a plane, and so we've been communicating back and forth. And I think what we will need to do is probably, unless we can put it in the chat really quickly, but she is willing to host the Women's Commission at a evening Tigers game in a suite provided by Olympia Entertainment with some goodies to go along with that. And we are looking at September 27th at a 6:40 p.m. game, or September 28th. And so we, I think maybe the best thing to do is just send out an email. I will send out an email on that, maybe with Member English Barnhill. And the only thing that I ask is that you respond, either with either day that is best for you, or if both days work for you, or just say neither days work. We are all very busy in our lives, and I've had numerous conversations with members of the Women's Commission, and we all just have a lot going on. But what I am going to ask of the members is, when something is put out that needs an answer, whether it's an event or a committee meeting or whatever it may be, that we do just take the time to respond. Because having no response makes it really difficult to make decisions and to plan. So no is a perfectly good answer. And it really helps in the planning and decision-making processes. So we will send out an email on that. Anything else under this agenda item?
Member Winton.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, my camera's off. I had a busy morning. Two things really quick. I know they touched on Meals on Wheels earlier. I actually work for the Area Agency on Aging, so I was happy to hear that we fund Meals on Wheels. We actually do a meals route through our work, and it's really rewarding and it's really easy. So anyone who can sign up, I know we're going to do the food assembly part, but even just, I did a route during COVID. Probably took about an hour to an hour and a half typically. So it's really, or if you know of people or your workplace maybe would sign up for a route, they really can use a lot of help. COVID kind of decimated their volunteer program. And then the other thing, and I will see if I can send a flyer out on it. I run on a volunteer basis, Metro Detroit Share, we're a pregnancy and infant loss support group. And we are hosting our 14th Walk of Remembrance on Sunday, October 2nd at Heritage Park in Taylor. So it's more of a memorial type service for supporting families who've experienced loss. And so I will send that out. It's a free event we do. So if you know of anyone who's been impacted by miscarriage, stillbirth, infant loss, they are welcome to attend.
Okay. Member Winton, could you just send out a quick email to the membership on that?
I absolutely will. I just got to find the flyer someone created and I will send that out.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Oh, I see Vice Chair Gator's hand.
Vice Chair Gator.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, through the chair and through the body. As a member of the Women's Official Network, I am on the planning team and chairing a committee to start a youth mentorship for people who identify as female. We are slated to kick that off on September the 17th at Lawrence Tech Community College. And I will be happy to send those details to you all via email, if that is okay with the chair, regarding how to encourage youth to enroll. Thank you.
That would be wonderful. Thank you, Vice Chair Gator. Anyone else? Okay, moving on to the next item, Clerk Spivey.
Item G, public comments. Madam Chair, no emails have been received.
Okay, any members of the public wish to speak or comment? Okay, hearing none. I just want to thank everyone for being at the meeting today and for your engagement and collaboration. It's 1:01, so we got the meeting done in just about an hour, and all of us participated in that, and thank you so much. We will be following up on a variety of things, so please check your emails. And once again, if something requires a response, please, just take the time to be able to respond. And with that, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.